I got my medical marijuana card in 2 different states, Colorado and Florida, and I've also talked to a lot of different medical patients around the states. I talked to a lot of people through my Twitch streams, and I did a YouTube post recently where I asked people to break down the cost of their medical card, how much they pay to the state and how much they pay to the doctor. And one thing that I'm learning is, on average, medical marijuana cards cost too much. With all this individual state legalization and states coming up with their own rules, sometimes they base things off of other states, but a lot of times they just come up with their own rule set. And you end up with weird things. For the most part, in a lot of states, your medical marijuana card is only good for 1 year. Some states do have 2 years, some might have longer. There's a lot of states, all the rules are different across the board, so it's really hard to say. And sometimes these rules change a couple times throughout the year. Like, one thing in Florida is you can only buy 70 grams of flour in a 35-day period. And it used to reset every 35 days, but then they changed it to every time you buy, it's based on the previous 35 days. So mathematically, you just get less weed over time. I went to buy an ounce the other day, and they're like, oh, we're sorry, you can only get 7/8 of an ounce. Weird. Thanks for letting me know I need medicine and deciding how much. Amazing. But you get weird rules. Some states have weird rules. The card might cost about $50, $75 to the state. Some cards are $20 cheaper when you renew. But on average, it seems like a medical marijuana card in most states costs about $50 if I were to average them. Now, that in itself isn't too much. It could be cheaper. I think my driver's license costs $50, but that lasts several years. I think my driver's license is good till 2027, but I got to renew my medical card this year. And one weird thing about Florida, and I think some other states have similar rules to this, is my card might be valid for a year, but I have to go re-see the medical doctor every 7 months. The medical doctors here, they got to recertify that you need the plants. Just because you have a card doesn't mean you can go buy the weed. You got to go pay the doctor. So it's different for everybody, but I found in Florida, on average, you end up paying about $250, $300 a year just to the doctor. And then you also give $75 to the state for your card every year. But some people end up paying $20, $30 a month. Some people end up paying every 7 months. I've talked to a lot. There's some people paying over $500, over $600 a year just for their medical card, which is how it is in some states. It's wild. I think for me, I got to double check, but I think my last doctor visit to renew my card was $125. And let me just recreate the whole doctor's visit for you. I'm going to recreate the whole thing right now, okay? Pretend I'm the doctor walking in and you're me. Okay, any questions? To which I replied, no. And the doctor just says, all right, you're all set. Have a nice day. My doctor's visit was less than 10 seconds to renew my card. $125. 10 seconds. During the pandemic, I think we could renew over the phone, but now I had to go in. You know how annoying it is to wake up early and drive somewhere and you did nothing? You did nothing. So it's very weird. The doctors are obviously taking advantage of this in a lot of places. When I did price hunting and when I've talked to a lot of people, some doctors are charging an obscene amount. I did ask in a post recently, and it seems a lot of people are paying about the same as me on a yearly basis. This is close. I think I paid $250 to the doctor and $75 to the state for a year. That's Virginia, Ohio. This person says $170 to the doctor, $50 to the state. Some places I can understand because the state requires you to have approval from 2 different doctors, so they incorporate both the costs there. But it's really wild for how short the appointment is and how much they charge. This sounds cheap for the recommendation. In Oklahoma, $10 to $50, but then $104 to the state. I think Oklahoma is one of those states that accepts out-of-state medical cards. Most states don't. Florida doesn't. Colorado doesn't. Some of these states have recreational cannabis, but typically when you have your medical card, you have more options, more variety. You can usually get more potent stuff like edibles. I know in Colorado, recreational edibles stopped at 100 milligrams, but if you went to a medical dispensary, you could get 1,000 milligrams or more. But it just seems like, looking at this list here, I've asked people on my Twitch streams, and then I also did a little bit of research online, looking through a few different websites, breaking down the costs. But overall, it just seems like the doctors are out here charging way too much money. I'm not a doctor. I know doctors are supposed to make a lot of money, but for you to charge me $125 and all you did was say, any questions, have a nice day. Bro, I can tell you're charging way fucking too much. So this is one of the issues that you get when cannabis isn't federally legal. You just have a weird rule set that each state made up for themselves. And then doctors and dispensaries, businesses all take advantage of those in the best ways possible for them. So it was eye-opening for me when I moved from Colorado to Florida, because I spent about $75 on the whole process in Colorado. I think it's like 15 or 25 goes to the state in Colorado, and I spent about $50 on the doctor's visit. And actually, my doctor's visits in Colorado were usually a little bit longer, more involved than they were here. Here, I'm just like, hey, how's it going? Have a nice day. Thanks for the weed. here's all of my money. But a lot of people are doing this. This is happening in a lot of states. You're just spending a lot. I do recommend you shop around, shop for prices. You're not going to find the same price everywhere, but you might find one that's 20, 30, 40% cheaper than the first price you looked at. So it's always good to shop around. I know that I could have got it cheaper here, but it was a convenience thing. I was trying to get my card as quickly as I could when I moved here. So I went to the first place that had an appointment, and then I've just been renewing there a little lazily. I know I could find it a little bit cheaper. I'm probably going to look into doing that soon. But I did want to make this video talking about some of the things that go on. And I also want to hear your opinions. Some people are in states where they have medical and recreational and they're not sure. They don't want to spend the extra money to get their med card. But in some cases, in some states, you'll end up saving money over time. It'll just be like a discount card for you. You might end up spending less on tax, or you might just have more variety, because obviously you could still go to the recreational places. But if you just have a whole new list of medical spots that open up or medical discounts that open up, it can be better. I hope this video was helpful. Don't forget to smoke with me on my Twitch streams. I go live after 9 p.m. Eastern almost every night for a smoke sesh on Twitch. So join me over there. I might be live right now. And if you want to hear more information on how to get your medical marijuana card, I made a video recently, and it gives some general tips and advice on how to get your medical card in any state. Thanks for watching. Have a lit day.